see.
Evening, ma'am. Need you to step out of the vehicle for me?
I'm parked in front of my house. I just got off a 16-hour shift. Can we not do this?
Got a call about a suspicious vehicle. I need to make sure everything's safe. Please step out.
Safe? I'm in my driveway. My kids are inside. You can see my name on the mailbox.
Ma'am, I need you.
The body camera clicked on at 6:18 p.m., right as the sun broke through gray Midwest clouds and lit up a quiet cul-de-sac in a soft, cruel glow that a black woman sat in a blue SUV with the engine off, hands resting on the wheel, eyes tired and red from a long night, that a white police officer stood outside her window, jaw tight, voice sharp, finger tapping the door frame like a threat. "Step out of the vehicle." "Now," he said. She looked at him and asked, calm but shaking, "Officer, why?" His answer came fast and cold. "Because I said so." What the officer did not know, what he could not see through her scrubs and worn sneakers, was that every word he said was being recorded, and what he said next would cost him everything. But here's the part that still makes people sit up straight. The woman he was humiliating, she wasn't just a tired nurse sitting in her driveway. She was a woman with a past that could break his badge in half. And the camera never blinked. Before we go any deeper, take 1 second and hit subscribe if you want real stories that make you think and feel. And drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. This story belongs to all of us. "Ma'am, you are being uncooperative," Officer Samuel Halvorson snapped. "I live here," the woman said again. Her voice was soft but firm. "That's my house. Number 12. Halvorson leaned closer to the open window. Too close, his shadow fell across her face. "You match the description," he said. "Description of what?" she asked. "A suspicious vehicle. A person sitting too long. Neighbors called." She looked past him. 3 houses down, curtains moved. A man on a porch pretended to check his phone. Everyone was watching. "I just got home from work," she said. "I needed a minute before I went inside." Halvorson laughed once. "Short. Mean. Funny," he said. "You don't look like you work nights." The words hung there. Heavy. Dirty. Her hands tightened on the wheel. The camera caught it did the way she swallowed hard. Her name was Taylor Brooks. She was 41 years old, a NER nurse for almost 2 decades, a mother of 2 boys who both slept with the light on when she worked late. She wore teal scrubs with a coffee stain near the pocket and a badge clipped to her chest. The badge was flipped backward, worn from years of use. Her hair was pulled back in a tired puff. No makeup. No jewelry except a thin silver chain tucked under her collar. Her SUV was old but clean. Paid off. Inside, the smell of antiseptic still clung to her clothes. She had just worked a double shift. 2 kids came in from a crash. One made it. One didn't. She had held a mother while the screaming stopped. Now she just wanted to sit. 30 seconds of quiet before going inside to be strong again. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't cry. She didn't beg. That was her strength. Halvorson straightened up and rested his hand near his belt. "Step out of the car," he said again louder. "For what?" Taylor asked. "Because I need to make sure you're not hiding anything." "Like what?" "Ma'am, don't play dumb." The word hit her like a slap. "I'm not playing anything," she said. "I'm asking why I'm being treated like this." He shook his head, smiled like he'd already won. "See, this is the problem," he said. "You people always turn this into something." There it was. The camera caught the pause, the breath she took, the way her eyes flicked to the lens on his chest. "You people," she asked quietly. Halvorson looked away, annoyed. "I'm asking you one last time," he said. "Out of the vehicle, or I will remove you." Her hands began to tremble. Not because she was guilty, because she was scared. Rain started to fall. Light at first, then harder. A woman across the street stepped out onto her porch, arms crossed. Another neighbor lifted a phone, pretending to text. Nobody said a word. Taylor took a slow breath. "Officer," she said, "I am not a threat. I am not resisting. I am asking you to treat me with respect." Halvorson scoffed. "Respect is earned," he said. She looked straight at him now. Calm. Clear. "So is trust," she said. That's when a second patrol car turned into the cul-de-sac. Lights off, but it stopped anyway. Halvorson stiffened. The second car door opened. Out stepped Captain Eleanor Voss. She didn't rush, didn't shout. She walked like someone who owned the ground under her boots. Halvorson's face drained of color. "Captain," he said fast. "I've got this." She didn't look at him. She looked at Taylor. "Ma'am," Voss said gently. "Are you okay?" Taylor nodded once. Still seated. Still calm. "I am now," she said. Captain Voss turned to Halvorsen. Explain, she said. He launched into it. Words spilling, suspicious vehicle. Caller concern. Noncompliance. Voss listened, arms folded. Then she asked one question. Did you run her plates? Halvorsen froze. I was about to. Voss nodded slowly. Officer Halvorsen, she said. This vehicle is registered to Dr. Taylor Brooks. He blinked. Voss continued. Dr. Brooks is not just an ER nurse, she said. She is also a former Army trauma officer. Bronze Star. Served 2 tours. She trained half the medics in this county. The cul-de-sac went silent. Rain pattered on roofs. Halvorsen's mouth opened. Closed. Taylor finally opened her door and stepped out. She stood straight, tired, wet, unbreakable. I didn't want to say it, she said. Because it shouldn't matter. She looked him dead in the eye. But you should have known better. Captain Voss turned on her body cam. For the record, she said, this stop is over. Officer Halvorsen is relieved of duty pending investigation. Halvorsen's voice cracked. Captain, please. You escalated without cause, Voss said. You used biased language. You ignored protocol. She gestured to the camera. And you did it on record. Neighbors stared now. Phones up, whispers spread. Taylor said nothing. She didn't need to. Halvorsen unclipped his badge with shaking hands. Captain Voss turned back to Taylor. I'm sorry, she said. This should never have happened. Taylor nodded. I know, she said. That's why it keeps happening. A neighbor stepped forward. A woman with gray hair. I'm sorry too, she said quietly.
Others followed, heads down, eyes wet. Taylor looked around her street. This is my home, she said. I shouldn't have to prove that. As she walked toward her front door, Taylor paused. She looked back once. Power doesn't make you right, she said. It just shows who you already are. Then she went inside. The door closed. The camera kept rolling. The video hit the internet before the rain had time to dry. It was uploaded by a neighbor. No edits. No music. Just raw sound and shaking hands that a woman sitting in her own car, an officer with fear in his voice, that a badge falling into wet pavement. By morning, the clip had crossed state lines. By noon, it crossed the country. By night, there was no place left to hide. Taylor Brooks woke up the next day with a headache and a phone buzzing nonstop on her nightstand. She didn't check it right away. She lay there instead, staring at the ceiling fan, listening to it click and hum. Her boys were still asleep down the hall. Their backpacks leaned against the wall like always. Life still needed to move. But something had shifted. When she finally picked up her phone, there were over 200 messages. Old friends, former co-workers, people she hadn't spoken to since the army. One text stood out. Ma'am, this is Major Colin Reddick. I saw the footage. If you need anything, we stand with you. She closed her eyes. She hadn't asked for this. She hadn't wanted to be a headline. She just wanted to be left alone. By the third day, the city released a statement. It was stiff, cold, full of words like review and procedure. People were not impressed. Protest signs showed up outside the precinct. One read, "Sitting is not a crime." Another, "She saved lives." Who saved her? Officer Samuel Halvorsen had been placed on unpaid leave. That was the nice way of saying everyone knew what was coming. The body cam footage had done what it always did when truth was clear. It told the story without mercy. Reporters started digging. They found the Bronze Star citation, the field hospital photos, the letters from soldiers who lived because her hands did not shake. One article wrote, Dr. Brooks once performed surgery in a tent under fire. But in her own driveway, she was treated like a suspect. Taylor didn't read the comments. She had learned long ago that pain did not need an audience. Instead, she went to work. Back to the ER. Back to the noise and blood and shouting. Back to the place where no one cared what you looked like if you could save them. A young resident stopped her in the hall. I saw the video, he said. I'm sorry. She smiled tiredly. Learn from it, she said. That's enough. 2 weeks later, the decision came down. Officer Halvorsen was fired. Not transferred, not retrained. Fired. The report cited clear bias, failure to follow protocol, and conduct unbecoming. The city settled quietly with Taylor. No press conference. No victory lap. Just accountability. Halvorsen did not speak publicly. But one letter did arrive at Taylor's house. Handwritten. Short. I didn't see you. I see that now. I'm sorry. She read it once. Then she placed it in a drawer and closed it. Some apologies are not for keeping. The cul-de-sac felt different now. Neighbors waved. Some avoided her eyes. One afternoon, the gray-haired woman from the porch walked over with a plate of cookies. I should have said something, she said. Taylor nodded. Yes, she said. You should have. They stood there a moment. Then the woman said, I won't be quiet again. Taylor believed her. Sometimes change starts that small. A month later, Taylor was asked to speak at a local school. She didn't want to. But her oldest son asked her one night, Mom, why didn't anyone help you? That question stayed. So she stood in a gym full of kids and spoke plainly. I stayed calm because I wanted to go home alive, she said. I stayed quiet because I knew who I was even when he didn't. A little girl raised her hand. What if they don't listen? She asked. Taylor smiled. Then you make sure someone else is watching, she said. The department changed its training. New rules, new oversight, mandatory bias review. Captain Eleanor Voss retired 6 months later. On her last day, she visited Taylor at the hospital. You reminded me why I wore the badge, Voss said. Taylor nodded. Just do the right thing, she said. That's all it ever was. One evening months later, Taylor sat in her SUV again. Same driveway, same quiet. This time she didn't rush inside. She breathed. She looked at her house. And she whispered to herself, I belong everywhere my feet are standing. If this story stayed with you, subscribe for more that speak truth. And tell us in the comments, what does belonging look like where you live? Because justice doesn't start loud. It starts when someone finally says, enough.